Welcome back to Fighting for the Truth. Here at Fighting for the Truth, we buy the truth and we sell it not. You see, you can't sell the truth. When you have the truth, you got to give it away because why? It's the truth. And we all know the saying, the truth will set you free. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to set people free in their mind because a lot of people are held in bondage due to the Democrat Party. But we're here to tell you that it's time to wake up and smell the coffee. Wake up and smell the coffee. Listen, TikTok is blowing up right now on Fighting for the Truth because people are upset about what I said about socialism never works. New York, say no to Zoran Mandani. It's blowing up right now. I've been called Coon. I've been called Uncle Tom. All the usual names, of course, but I'm working for the white man. I've heard that I'm getting paid. Heard I need to go back to college and understand what socialism and communism is. I've had people to try to come on there and make comments, and they ultimately helped me out what I was saying because socialism and communism go hand in hand. They do. Had one person to say, yeah, communists can actually have socialist ideas and vice versa. Did I not just say that? Where have you been? But anyways, we're going to move on from that. Go watch the episode. It's blown up, and I'm grateful for it because I love the troll just like the trolls are trolling. I'm also trolling. But the truth is there. It is the truth. You cannot get away from the truth. It always finds its way back. So I tell you to go and watch it. I'm moving on. But I do want to ask a question. Why are the Dems or the Democrats so angry about the new White House ballroom? Why are they so upset about that? I'm going to tell you why they're upset about it. They don't want Trump to go forth with his plans because they feel we're in the midst of a shutdown. Why is he trying to renovate the White House? And number two, he does not have the authority under the executive powers that he's been granted by the Constitution. And so he needs approval from the National Archives. Let me make sure I get this right. National Archives and Records Administration before he can approve something like that or have it approved. He needs legal authority from Congress and the National Archives and Records Administration. And guess what? I got news for you. He does not. He does not need it. He don't need it. He don't need it. Well, why don't he need it? Because according to the Planning Commission, okay, the head of the National Capital Planning Commission states that they have no jurisdiction over demolishing or any site preparation work that is done for any federal building or on federal property. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. There you go right there. Now, the president does have legal authority to do it. Can't find anywhere in any type of documentation that he cannot do this. So that being said, he can, and we're going to continue to do it. It started in August, and it's continued to way before the shutdown happened, and it's going to continue to go forth. Why? Because it can. Okay, let's get over it. Move on. Let's really talk about the things that we have at hand. The real issue is that Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries are to blame for and of course the cronies and all his Democrat people, they're to blame for the government shutdown on the 28th day. At the end of the day, Chuck Schumer is on record saying that every day that the government is shut down, it is better for the Democrats. It is good for the Democrats. It gives them leverage. We even heard a Democrat woman said due to TSA and ultimately air traffic control, if a plane falls out the sky, that is good because we get to make a point. Well, it is not good. It is a bad point you're making. Why do you want to see American lives lost due to a government shutdown? They're already losing financially, so why would you ever say something like that? Republicans would never, ever open their mouths to say anything even close to that because it is wrong and it should not be said. Now, there has been small changes done on White House property for many years by many different presidents. We can go all the way back to JFK, created the Rose Garden back in 1963, and it still today remains unrelatively touched outside of President Trump expanding that. I saw that back in February when I was there. I saw them getting ready to pave the sidewalks to make it even more beautiful. 1970, okay, President Richard Nixon converted the indoor swimming pool to the White House press briefing room. He did this and also created a one-lane bowling alley. Can you imagine? Woo, that's beautiful. Gerald Ford even had a private swimming pool added in. And guess who paid for it? Not taxpayers, private donors. Okay, in the early 2000s, President George W. Bush, guess what he did? He modernized the press briefing room and the situation room. He installed the first ever solar electric system on the White House grounds. And then, way before that time, Jimmy Carter, guess what he did back in 1979? He installed a solar heating panel on top of the roof. It was removed in the late 1980s, but still it was there. It was done. Barack Obama, he came in, built a tennis court that was converted and also that can interchangeably turn into a basketball court. First Lady Michelle Obama, guess what she did? She added a White House kitchen garden. Imagine that on the South Lawn. So don't tell me it can't be done. It can be done. It's called rejuvenating, upgrading, modernizing the White House. It can be done. But the Dems are going to spout that President Trump is doing this all for clout, and in the midst of a shutdown, he's so busy worrying about architecture that is not the case. That is not the case as he hosts his millionaires and billionaire friends. That's what they're going to say. I can hear Bernie Sanders saying it right about now. But the truth is not that. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. No. That truth will not be set free because it's not the truth. Okay? That is not truth. It's not facts. They're going to say, how dare he focus on renovating the White House when the American people are suffering, they're hurting, they can't eat. No. How dare you, Democrats, not give us 5 votes to make this CR pass? It was a clean resolution, not packed with pork, and here you are still trying to pass your agenda. We're not going to give you trillions of dollars to fund your ideology. It's not going to happen. We're not going to give tons of money to illegal immigrants for Medicare and Medicaid. Cannot happen. Cannot happen. American people need it. And at this point, SNAP is getting ready to really snap on November the 1st if the government is not open. Okay, supplemental nutrition assistant programs that people rely on for kids will be cut off very soon. November the 1st, if the government does not open. But Chuck Schumer said every day that it's closed is leverage for the Democrats. That's wrong. I don't buy it, don't subscribe to it. That's why I'm not a Democrat. Okay, the Republicans and President Trump, with his help, with his knowledge, with his recommendations, met with the Republican leaders of the House and asked and gave them insight on what he needs to continue to push this government forward and this country forward. That was done, and the House passed this bill. Now the Senate fails to do their job. Come on, Chuck, wake up. Let's get it done. It has to be done. Sign it, okay? Let's get yays, 5 yays, and let's send this to President Trump desk so he can sign and put it into law, and the government can open back up. How easy is that? It's enough of the BS. It's enough of the bull crap. We need to make it happen immediately before November 1st. It needs to be done. And by the way, this is the 3rd renovation that Trump has done, if you want to be exact. Why is that? He put a pole that overlooks the White House, a beautiful American flag pole. Then he expanded the Rose Garden, okay? And now he is doing what? He is expanding the east wing of the White House. The ballroom is going to make it larger. Right now, it can only hold 250 people. When it's all said and done, it's going to stand tall and beautiful at 90,000 square feet. It'll be able to hold 650 people. Okay? It'll be able to do that. So we're looking forward to that for happening, and it's going to be beautiful. So I say go forth. Dems, be upset about it. It's still going to happen. Don't worry about it. Of course, in August of this year, the Oval Office took on new renovations. You saw that Trump decked the Oval Office out in gold. Saw some beautiful portraits of President Ronald Reagan, President Abe Lincoln, and of course the presidential Wall of Fame, and the only person missing was J.R. Biden, and instead they put an auto pin there. I thought it was pretty cool. If you hadn't seen that, go check it out. Yeah, but we've done renovations. It's not the first time. This is going to be the largest and the biggest renovation that's going to be taking place, but it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful, okay? Started back in August. It's going to be beautiful. And again, the words of Bernie Sanders, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Now, This is what the White House said about this. It said the White House says this: Trump is carrying on a proud presidential legacy of making upgrades to the building and, in the case, increasing its capacity to host major functions. The East Room currently seats 200 people for dinner, meaning many large White House events are hosted outside in white tents, okay, with makeshift floors and chandeliers because it's not enough room. It's not enough room. And I say this, President, listen, you're acting a little ghetto on us now. You got your people outside. Come on, Mar-a-Lago. You need them indoors. And I get it. That's why we are going to make this thing much larger. Yeah, I'm all for it. Again, this is the people's house. We do what we want to do with it. We give the president authority by electing him as president to make these renovations. And if he deems that it should be upgraded, it should be upgraded. What we know is President Trump is not a man of wasteful spending. That's not what he does. Wouldn't be successful if he did that. Wouldn't be a real estate mogul if he did that. Would not be a good steward over money if he did that. And we're as Republicans, we're good stewards over money. So no more need to be said. You can turn your TVs off, your YouTubes off, and your cell phones off at this time because I am done. No, I'm kidding. But at the end of the day, this is the truth about the matter right here. It's the truth about the matter. We don't want people eating outdoors. We want them indoors. This is White House. We want to give them a luxurious time, want them to enjoy themselves. I know when I was at the White House, I didn't eat outside. I was inside. And I think every person should have the right to get inside and enjoy your steak and potatoes. Now, I know the Dems are already saying this. The taxpayers has to fund this new ballroom that many of us would never get the chance to even step into or even let alone dance on the floors of this ballroom. That's not true. You'll be there one day if you haven't. Second part of this, it has been funded by 37 different donors, okay? So taxpayers, you're not going to fit this $300 million bill. It's going to be done by 37 different tech. It's going to be a bunch of big tech corporations that are going to be on that ticket, who's already probably signed their checks to make this happen. I'm sure President Trump's going to donate some money, but there's 37 different private donors. So don't worry, taxpayers. You don't have to fit the bill. It's the people's house, but you don't have to pay for it, okay, as it pertains to the ballroom now. This has been done by private donors. I make that very clear. Let's go through some of those names. Kelly Loeffler, you know who that is, and Jeff Sprecher, okay, and the Lucknick family. Imagine that, Howard Lucknick. And who is he? He is the 41st, okay? He is indeed the 41st Secretary of Commerce of the United States of America. Okay, he's worth about $2 to $4 billion, all right? He was once the CEO of Wall Street financial services firm Cantor Fitzgerald. So the man has the money. And at the end of the day, he is over our commerce, doing a beautiful job on that. He's a private donor. Now, imagine that if Trump's administration is giving back not only their time, not only their knowledge, not only their skills, not only sacrificing for being with their families and being criticized in the media constantly and also weaponized because at the end of the day, who knows what type of hits these people are on as it pertains to the Trump administration, because the whole administration, not just Trump, the whole administration, all of us in MAGA are hated. And we are very much preyed upon to be killed. Believe it or not. So can you imagine they're not only giving blood, sweat, tears, but they're giving money. The Lucknick family. The man is doing double, working overtime. That's called, you know what I call that? Putting your money where your mouth is. So shut up, Dems. Okay? Shut it up. Ultra Group, Amazon, Apple, Booz Allen Hamilton, Caterpillar, Coinbase, Comcast. Let's see, Hard Rock International, Google, HP Incorporated, Meta Platforms, Microsoft, Ripple, Reynolds America, or American, T-Mobile, Tether America, Union Pacific Railroad, okay? Plantier Technologies, Next Extra Energy, Micron Technology, Lockheed Martin is given. Look at that. these major corporations is given to this ballroom, and I'm sure they'll get a chance to slide in there one of these days, slide in there, and I'm sure they'll be on the dance floor dancing. But guess what? They deserve it. They paid for it. And it wasn't at the expense of the American people. So, Dims, what are you so mad about? I know what you're really mad about because it's Trump that did it. That's what you're mad about. But that's enough of that. I'm going to move on because listen, go do your own research. I gave you enough. I gave you enough not to be mad. You're still going to be mad. Okay? And you want to know who else had renovations conducted in the White House? Okay. Probably the second largest. Well, this would be actually the largest because he had the whole entire White House gutted. President Harry Truman. Matter of fact, it was called the Truman Reconstruction Project. Okay. It took place in 1948 all the way up to 1952, the most extensive and significant renovation the White House's history outside of Trump. Now, many are going to say, yeah, it needed to be done. It had to be restructured for safety purposes. Things were getting ready to fall apart. It was outdated. We get all that. The interior was completely dismantled and rebuilt due to structural problems that made the building unsafe. Well, that's your answer right there. Yes, it is your answer. But it was done. And guess what? He did not need Congress to approve this. He did it. Now, the White House ballroom is not going under a reconstruction or renovations because it's not safe. It's going under reconstruction and renovations because it needs to be expanded so that more people can have a good time. How about that? I'm really making y'all mad tonight, DMs. I'm really making you mad, and I love every bit of it. It's a beautiful thing. Now, understand this. President Truman, okay, President Harry S. Truman, to be exact, oversaw the complete gutting and the rebuilding of the White House interior between 1948 and 1952. Like I told you, 1952. Due to severe structural issues, including collapsing floors. These are the things that needed to be done. The house was deemed unsafe to occupy, so of course he couldn't live in that for a while. Family lived in the Blair House, which was across the street. They lived in that house for almost the whole term, 3 years, while it was being renovated and worked on, okay? But at the end of the day, it was done. It was done. The original wooden structure that the White House was built on was in danger of collapsing, so they installed, steel beams to make this more appropriate and safe. They had cracked beams, swaying frame, outdated plumbing. All these things were upgraded. Electrical systems were upgraded, and it was much needed. It was much needed. So when you look at renovations to make something better, modernizing and bringing it up to code and making it more of a standard, this is exactly what President Trump is doing too. And at the end of the day, this is not Mar-a-Lago he is upgrading under his authority, okay, or doing this in the people's house. He's doing it in the White House, which at the end of the day is owned by the American people. It's a federal piece of property. He's not going to, once he leaves, tear down the ballroom to bring it back to where it once was. He's going to keep it there so that the next administration going forward and the next guests that'll be coming in after him will be able to enjoy it. It's only an upgrade, people. Calm down. Let's get it together. Before you haters try and add 2 cents, that's all you're going to do is add 2 cents to it, really 1 cent. Yes, I already know. I just said it that the White House had to be upgraded for structural safety purposes. I get that. Okay. Even a 5-year-old child would understand that. I get it. Now, at the end of the day, the interior was gutted under Truman, leaving only the exterior stone walls. They had to come in and put new concrete in and do all these things. Now, this was heavily cost. It was $5.7 million, which as of today's date, it would have been more like $70 million, okay? But at the end of the day, that's what it took. All right? You understand what I'm saying? Get it. Yes, $300 million to renovate the ballroom. Things have changed. Our money has been decreased. So we get all that. Inflation. Everything happens. We know everything is expensive now. You cannot go and get gas for 5 cents like it was back in the day, back in Truman time. No, you can't do that. It does not happen anymore. Let's get over that. $300 million that you, the taxpayers, won't have to pay. So when you hear them talking about that, let them know that we're not paying for that. Okay. And then tell them to move on. Say, move on. We ain't paying for it at the end of the day. Now, Truman also, he is responsible for that beautiful balcony that the president actually spoke to my group, Brexit, back in 2020 from on the South Lawn. It was a beautiful day, and I still have the pictures in my phone. It was beautiful. Truman is to credit for building the balcony. Now he did at that time. He had got a lot of hate from that. Got a lot of people upset because of the financial cost behind it. The Truman balcony has become, at this time, a hallmark. Both the first family is for leisure. It's for the president to come out and get fresh breath. It's also for official house events, White House events, which I told you about just now that I was at. But guess what? The Truman balcony was something that was really controversial, like I just stated to you. Okay. Very controversial. People were upset about it. But at the end of the day, it is the most sought after piece of property on the White House now. Okay. That balcony. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Now, before I wrap up, I want to dive into something that is very, very important. Okay. We have to understand what's at stake here, because the Dems are not going to tell you what's at stake, but I'm going to tell you what's at stake because it is very important. It's not about a ballroom. All jokes aside, it's not about a ballroom. At the end of the day, I can really care less about a ballroom. But what I really do care about is the American people who are suffering right now under this government shutdown. Let's really go back to that for just a moment. We cannot move on. We cannot have a good show without mentioning that. This is the real matter. The Dems are upset because they fail to open the government back up, because they do not want to seem as if they cave not only to the Republican Party, but also to their false constituents, the ones who have threatened them, the people behind the No Kings protests, ones that have said if they didn't comply, they would be, during the time of their Senate term reelection, they'll be voted out of office. That is the real push. That is the real deal. That's the real deal behind all of this. It's not about a ballroom. It's not about the ballroom. It's about the CR bill that they refuse to sign because it is packed with so much pork. And it's not going to go through. Okay? For the 12th time, the Democrats have said no to this shutdown, or said no to the CR bill to cause the shutdown. But I want to tell you what's at stake. Over the weekend, we had over 86,000 flights that was delayed nationwide this past weekend. Okay, Schumer said it. I said it earlier. Schumer said every day that the government is shut down is better for us. We gain leverage. We gain leverage from this shutdown. Now, what is that to say? One Dem even stated if a plane falls out of the sky, it's a beautiful thing. It's leverage for us. It's showing us, and it's showing the American people that Republicans are at fault. That is why you don't have any air traffic controllers. It's not true. You're not paying them. And on November the 1st, it's going to get much worse. We're sitting around a couple of days from a month of this government shutdown. Enough is enough. Stop playing games. Let's get it open. Let's do what we have to do. 2 million people around America will not have a paycheck coming up soon, by the end of this week, and yet they still play games. Thank God for that huge donation of $130 million that came through for President Trump's administration to pay for the military, and that's not going to last long. That'll be done. But yet we're playing games. 42 million people are up right now and at stake of losing their SNAP benefits. If this shutdown does not reopen on November 1st, this is what we're facing. It's very sad to see this, and I hate that this is even something we have to talk about. As I stated earlier in the show, this is the longest running shutdown, okay, as it pertains to the entire government. This is the only, so far, full shutdown in American history, and it is very sad. We've had partial shutdowns, but this is the only full shutdown, and we're almost at a month, which would take us to the longest shutdown in American history, whether full or partial. It's very sad. The Dems will continue to play with Americans' time, with our money, and it's not right. I say no to the Democrats, and you should as well. We need 5 little votes, and yet we're still playing games. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And today we have the 13th vote. I'm going to have to find out what happened with that. Okay, but what I will say is this: who's really at fault? See, it's easy. It is very easy to look at who's at fault. It's very easy to point the blame and lay the blame at the party's feet who's responsible. Those are the Democrats. See, it's time to stop playing with the American people. That is the real deal. It's not about a White House. It's not about a ballroom that is being renovated. It is the Democrats playing with Americans' people lives, families. You've heard me talk about it. Finances, health, wealth, all of these things. They're at stake if we don't open this government back up. 5 votes we need. Say yes to the Democrats. I need 5 Dems to say yes. Come on, Dems. Come on over to the other side. That's what we need from you. You got to do your job. It is time that we stop playing games. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm never going to stop saying it. The truth is the truth. All we needed was 60 senators. As we know, this bill passed the House already, the CR passed the House, and it went over to the Senate, and we needed 60. We needed 60 senators to sign on to the bill, and they did not do it. They have prolonged the time. They have made it unproductive. And we got to call the roll. We have got to call the roll. It must be called, because at the end of the day, this is what we're facing. We're facing different things that are going to affect us, and it's about to start to get really real out there if we don't hurry up and open this government back up. You think we've seen crime at its all-time high? You haven't seen it yet. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and that's where we're at right now. So we have to do something about it. And I think that it is up to each and every one of us to really take a look at it and say, you know what, it's time to stop playing around. It's time that I stop just listening to the talking heads who are telling me the Republicans are at fault on this one, and really wake up, read, and study it for yourself. Listen to what they're saying, and the proof is in the pudding. Doesn't take much to figure this out. The Dems are at fault, and they're trying to sell it on you that it's the Republicans' fault, and it's not. Cannot afford to give money away that we ourselves do not have. That's what's in that bill. Over $1.7 trillion want to go to Medicare and guess what? Medicaid to illegals. And we cannot do that. Sorry, cannot happen. Funding to go over to Africa and perform studies that includes transgenderism. Don't have time for it. Don't have time. Cut the crap. Stop playing games with us and let the American people get back to work. That's all many people want to do is just work. They want to provide for their families. They want to continue to do what they have done for some for 10, 20, some 5, some 30 years. They want to get out and work. But the Democrats are holding them up. And I hope that every American understands this. And back to Zoran as I wrap up. Folks, you're really making a bad decision, New Yorkers. Yes, Cuomo's not the best for you. Curtis Slowa will be an even better candidate, but Zoran does not have the answers for you. He blamed 9/11 on the American people as it pertains to us, stereotyping his aunt, who could not even ride on the subways because she had a hijab on, and she was so offended by it, and she got so many different stares and looks. This is after 9/11. And he made it about him and his family rather than placing the blame where the blame should have went. towards Al Qaeda and Taliban, Muslim men who killed innocent Americans. That's who you're getting ready to vote in office, which happened right there in your city. Oh yeah, I can pull up the text right now. I got tons of different. Well, not even text. I can pull up my TikTok and show you. Many people in there in the comments saying I already voted for Zoran. 15 of my family members voted for Zoran. He's going to be the next mayor. You know, playing games. They're playing games. See, it's easy to play games until something goes wrong. In New York, that's what you're getting ready to face. But I'm done. I've been on my soapbox too long, and I want to say to you, Dems, get over it. The White House on the east side, the east wing, the ballroom is getting built, whether you like it or not. Move on. Stop talking about it. Stop crying. And I want, just for that purpose, to get a little clap in the hey, had to do it because at the end of the day, when you're right, you're right. And when you're wrong, you're wrong. I just want to say this. I have really enjoyed this show. I'm only about bringing the truth to you. That's what I do. That's what I need to do. That's what I have to do. Would you please do me a favor? You already know I was about to say it. Can you please do me a favor? Would you please do me a favor? Buy the truth, and after you've bought the truth, sell it not. You can't sell the truth. You got to give it out. Why? Because it's free. And until the next episode, until we do it again, I'll see you. Have a great day. Have a great night, great evening, great morning, whatever it is to you right now when you're watching. Make it a great day. God bless.